So, Mississippi fiddle tunes. Is there a state style? What makes it unique? Why is it Mississippi and not North Carolina? We use all the same bowing, right hand, left techniques as elsewhere in the South. Maybe the tunes flat the thirds or slide slightly more bluesy or slide around a little more, but not much. And each player in the state is a pretty distinct style unto himself. There's not a lot of, no two fiddlers sound the same. However, when you listen to the whole body of it, you go, oh yeah, those are Mississippi tunes. You can pretty rapidly tell which state it's from. I think the defining characteristic is not the players so much, well, you can't really take it apart. It's the tunes. And the more I dig, the more I find out that they made them up. It's not like, oh, this is the tune from my grandfather that I learned faithfully, though there's some of that. But Willie Narmer either made up or maimed every one of his tunes and made it distinctly his own. John Gatwood wrote all four that he recorded in 1930. Hoyt Ming, he was receiving signals from the planet Venus and he was from the universe. The Lee County Revelers seemed to have played it pretty straight, but everybody else seemed to have a pretty distinct take that was kind of their own. And when you look around, bits and pieces of the tunes are familiar from elsewhere, part of the common body of stock participles of music, old-time music. But the tunes themselves and its titles don't pop up somewhere else. For some reasons that totally escape me, Mississippi was its own little universe. And when you cross the border into Alabama, for example, it's a different body of music with very little that's directly relatable or something you might mistake for a Mississippi tune. So I think it's this rather individualistic way of looking at a melody, starting the melodic idea, going wherever it takes you, and when you're done, and then you repeat it, no matter how many or how few beats it would have. The whole idea of 8 bars and repeats, not something they're fond of. I tried to play an entire night of square dancing for a modern caller, and modern callers really rather like the idea that it's 8 bar and repeat, and I had a hell of a time coming up with enough tunes. I barely got through the night. But the square dance calls on the records, these crooked. Now, isn't that a pejorative tune? I think we should just refer to the other tunes as regular and, crooked is demeaning. I mean, they're their own shape. So it's honored in the breach. So just to kind of carry this notion audibly out in front of you, I'd like to play 2 versions of a very well-known tune called Fisher's Hornpipe. I assume you all probably have played it. The first one is from Aldous Massengale, who recorded with the Newton County Hillbillies in 1930, and there's some lovely field recordings from the 70s. I worked with the Field Recorders Collective to issue a CD of those field recordings, and they're great, so you can get it from them. If you don't know about them, talk to me. And then the second one is Stephen B. Tucker's Cubist masterpiece version of a Fisher's Hornpipe. Massengale's is 7-bar, 8-bar, 9-bar, B-part. Contest-winning version, and I don't even want to think about counting the other one. So, wish me luck, see if I can get through those medley of these 2 crooked versions of Fisher's Hornpipe, which I think kind of display a distinctly Mississippi point of view.